This is the story of three brothers whose remarkable vocal harmonies brought them international fame. This is the story of the Bee Gees. Brother Barry and twin brothers Robert and Maurice Gibb were born on the Isle of Man in the north of England in the second half of the 1940s.
Our father was a drummer for 30 years, and our mother a band vocalist, and that's how they met. And that's how we were thought of.
The boys grew up as rock and roll music was beginning, but in Britain the closest most performers came to making music was miming to hits of the day. The Gibb brothers were no exception, but a broken record changed everything for them. This was the city of Manchester in 1956.
Actually, how we started is a story in itself. We'd always loved singing around the house, and there was a cinema nearby where we were able to stand on stage and lip sync to records. We called ourselves the Rattlesnakes then. Normally, we'd have a chance to rehearse the record, rehearse lip syncing to it, and be ready. But that day, there was no turning back. So we had to go on stage, and we had to sing for real. And I can tell you now, looking back, we were pretty young, pretty hungry, but we found out we could sing.
Lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop, lollipop, oh, lolly, 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 lollipop.
What happened was, on the way to the cinema, we broke the record that we were going to mime to. And we'd been practicing singing at home. We found out we had a natural harmony, but we didn't understand what we were doing. And we decided at that point to sing instead of mime. In about 1958, we emigrated to Australia and went to live in Brisbane.
The Gibb family had rarely remained in one place for long, but in 1958 they took a much bigger step, like so many intrepid Britons of the era, by emigrating to Australia. Upon their arrival in this young country, the brothers quickly began to display their musical talents in public.
I think we probably had pretty much what any artist has if they start as young as we had and work your way up to where you get in life. We went through all the small clubs, all the small hotels, any television work we could get. It was three kids with a guitar, you know.
But everything was very young in Australia. Show business was very young, even in the world that we were in. Our particular area of the show business world. I mean, TV was young, recording industry was very young. Publicity people were very young. There wasn't...
Publicity people were very old.
But they had no idea of how to sell an artist or anything like that, because it was all very young business, you know. But we spent most of our time working to adults.
Yeah, but we were very young kids at the time, and we weren't a major recording group.
Kids don't sell records.
Kids don't sell records.
We had about 13 flops in a row.
Even so, the Bee Gees, as they were now known, were regarded as a phenomenon, to the extent that they were featured on television performing one of those early flops, The Battle of the Blue and Grey, in 1963.
Well, I'm an old man now, and I'm bordering the graves. People won't believe me, but there's truth in what I say. Many hearts are broken and a lot of tears are shed. The sky was black and the battlefield was red. Now it's gone, gone, gone. Those years have passed away. It's gone, gone, gone. There's truth in what I say. It's gone, gone, gone. There's nothing more to say. But I'd do anything if I could do it all again. Now Stonewall Jackson stepped right up and then he said to me,
Understandably envious of the excitement surrounding the Beatles and many other groups back in Britain, the brothers decided to return to their own country in 1967. Ironically, as they left, they were finally achieving chart success with a timeless song entitled Spicks and
The
Specks.
#1 single in Australia the week that we left Australia.
Where is the sun that shone on my head? The sun in my life, it is dead, it is dead. Where is the light that would play in my streets? And where are the friends I could meet, I could meet? Where are the girls I left far behind? The spicks and the specks of the girls on my mind. Where is the girl I love all along? The girl that I love, she is gone, she is gone. All of my life I call yesterday. The sticks and the spits of my life gone away. All of my life I call yesterday.
The Gibb family sailed back on the line of fair sky, with the boys and their father working their passage by entertaining on board. Their immediate goal was to contact Brian Epstein, the manager of the Beatles, and his partner, Robert Stigwood.
Anyway, ahead of our trip, we sent these records and acetates and things to Brian Epstein. And it was in a matter of the 2 weeks that we were there that one night, Robert Stigwood, who was managing director that night, decided they would play these tapes, these records. So they both sat and played them, and we don't know how he got our phone number, but we phoned us up, and within the next week we'd signed a 5-year contract.
Stigwood could see the potential of the Bee Gees, who he thought could quite easily become as successful as the Beatles. He backed his confidence with heavy financial investments, which paid off when their first single, New York Mining Disaster 1941, reached the top 20 on both sides of the Atlantic.
Have you seen my wife, Mr. Jones? Do you know what it's like on the outside? Don't go talking too loud, you cause a landslide, Mr. John.
Before the end of 1967, the Bee Gees, including beside the Gibb brothers, lead guitarist Vince Maloney and drummer Colin Peterson, who'd both worked with the Bee Gees in Australia, were topping the British chart with the wistful Massachusetts.
See my way when
Unsurprisingly, the Bee Gees became the target for fan worshippers. They amassed hit after hit. Under Robert Stigwood's perfectly planned patronage, the group achieved immense popularity, enhanced by a heavy touring schedule, which often resulted in hysterical scenes.
It scares me all right, but if there wasn't any public enthusiasm, it would scare me more. We are trying to capture a wider audience than just teenagers.
The end of 1968 saw the Bee Gees returning to the top of the British chart with I've Got to Get a Message to You, which was also their first American top 10 hit.
For once in my life, I'm alone. But I gotta let her know, just in time before I go. I just gotta get a message to you. Hold on, hold on. One more hour and my life will be blue. Hold on, hold on. Well, I laughed, but that didn't hurt. And it's only her love that keeps me wearing this dirt. Now I'm
Despite the fact that their first American tour was somewhat less successful than everyone had expected, the group began to collect awards from all over the world, both for sales and for their artistry.
We were three kids and we knew really nothing. We were pretty green. We sang and we wrote songs and we didn't know how good those songs were. And it's just it's very hard. Everyone else is in control, you're not in control. And so the promotion becomes the hype and it's all built up and people put money up behind it. And we were titled as the most significant new musical talent of 1967. Well, to us, we didn't even know what that meant.
Hurting my head from things that I said, till I finally died, which started the whole world living. Oh, if I'd only seen, oh, that the joke was on me. Oh, no, that the joke was on me.
Despite their occasional bewilderment at their vast success, the Bee Gees continued to produce memorable songs, starting 1969 with a big hit on each side of the Atlantic. I Started a Joke made it big in America, while 1st of May reached the top 10 in Britain.
That grew for you and me. I watched the apples falling one by one, and I recall the moment of them all, the day I kissed your cheek and you were gone. Now we are tall and Christmas trees are small, and you don't ask the time of day, but you and I, our love will never die.
Although in public the Bee Gees denied rumours that the price they were paying for fame and fortune was an imminent falling apart, all was obviously not well.
I was speaking to you from a club in Hamburg, and I'm Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees. Robin here. Robin, we've heard rumours that the group is splitting up. Would you like to verify those rumours? You say if you said it.
I don't know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peterson. How about you, Mr. Maloney?
Oh, no, I don't think it is.
Come in, come in.
No, no, no.
If I was to say that was true, then I would be the Premier of Russia.
However, Robin Gibb did leave his brothers in the spring of 1969, making a solo album titled Robin's Reign, from which a single, Saved by the Bell, became a major hit. Meanwhile, Barry and Morris starred in a TV special, Cucumber Castle. Since the Bee Gees were such well-known personalities, their family feud became public property.
It wasn't just Robin leaving the group, it was a whole combination of elements that were good and bad.
It was like a family argument made public.
It was a difficult period for all three brothers, and their rivalry was further exaggerated when Don't Forget to Remember by Barry and Morris, taken from Cucumber Castle, matched the chart performance of Robin's solo hit.
That it's true. I can get over anything you want, my love, but I can't get myself over you. Don't forget to remember me and the love that used to be. I still remember.
Robin's absence from the group was to last more than 18 months, and in the interim, Colin Peterson joined Barry and Morris on another Bee Gees success, Tomorrow, Tomorrow.
You said goodbye, girl. It's just too much. Hey, I swallowed each and every lie that you gave to me. Well, I'm the man that I was, and the future that can never be. Tomorrow, everyone's gonna know me better. And tomorrow, everyone's gonna drink my wine. And tomorrow, everyone's gonna read my letter. And my story of love and a love that could never be mine.
Eventually, Robin was reunited with his brothers at the end of 1970, inevitably at the instigation of Robert Stigwood. They celebrated their reunion with their first American #1 hit, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart?
I could never see tomorrow. No one's ever heard about the sorrow. How can you stop the rain from falling down? How can you stop the sun from shining? What makes the world go round? How can you mend this broken man? ever win. Please help me mend my broken heart.
However, by 1972, the fickle nature of public taste had decided that the Bee Gees had outlived their usefulness, and the hits became smaller, like My World, and in 1973 and 1974, almost non-existent. During this period, the group were again at a low ebb and found themselves playing in small clubs in the north of England. In an attempt to relaunch their career, the brothers began to work with noted record producer Arif Mardin, who was strongly connected with their American label, Atlantic.
We did 2 albums with Arif Mardin,
Yeah.
producer, record producer in New York, and he's excellent producer. He's like an old uncle. Most artists look up to this man. He's like a doctor. Not that we were in need of a doctor, mind you. Think about it.
My piles were playing up at the
Yes,
time.
Robin's.
Anyway,
We won't go into that.
But we made 2 albums. One was Mr. Natural, which didn't do well at all, and us and Arif stuck together and made another album following, thinking that we were on the right track. We were making a transition somewhere. Let's see where we're going, and that main course album was what came.
The new direction proved entirely successful, and the first hit from Main Course, Jive Talking, became another American chart topper in mid-1975.
You'll never know just what you mean to me. All that chat, you got so much. You're gonna take away my energy with all of your jive talking, telling me lies. Good loving, so you get in my eyes. Nobody believe what you say. Jive talking that gets in the way. Oh my love, you're so good, treating me so cruel. There you go with your fancy lies, leaving me looking like a dumbstruck fool. Oh, your jive talking, you telling me lies. Jive talking, you wear a disguise. Jive talking, so misunderstood. Jive talking, you just ain't no good.
Jive Talking was followed by another big hit from the same album, Nights on Broadway.
In a room full of strangers, standing in the dark, where your
Arif Marden encouraged the brothers to express their natural affinity for rhythm and
In
blues.
1975, they started doing was music we had been doing for years prior.
Just never made the records.
Nobody wanted to hear that sort of music from the Bee Gees.
But we were writing it and even recording it on demos. But nobody, the record company that we were with before that time, did not want to release Bee Gees R&B because they thought in those days it wasn't right for a white group to release that kind of music.
The idea was give us as many ballads as you can.
You see, white groups just didn't do R&B music prior to 1974-75.
The Bee Gees proved that musical stylings tinged with rhythm and blues and soul could be applied to ballads. One notable example from 1976 was Fanny Be Tender With My Love, which was reminiscent of the work of Curtis Mayfield.
Seems like you don't want the love of this man at all. And it's sure been a lonely time, right up to the time I met you. So if you take a love like mine, be tender with my love. You know how easy it is to hurt me. Baby, be tender with my love. 'Cause it's all that I've got, and my love won't desert me. So you think to yourself, boy, you're out of your brain. Do you think I'm gonna stand here all night in the rain? And it's the start of a love affair, the moment when I first met you. And if you want, I'll take you there. Be tender with my love. You know how easy it is to break me. Baby, be tender with my love. 'Cause it's all that I've got, and my love won't forsake me.
Even their success with Main Course was dwarfed by what was to come.
I feel you touch me in the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest doubt. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think I care for you when you know down inside that I really do. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really mean to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down.
Robert Stigwood had realized that disco music was the soundtrack of the late 70s and that the music of the Bee Gees was tailor-made for the disco phenomenon. Accordingly, he used their music in a film he was making centering on New York nightlife, Saturday Night Fever, starring the then little-known John Travolta.
We can't
I'm finding myself. Just for me, and the feeling is right. With that night, fever, they know how to do it. Give it that night, fever, we know how to show it.
Marriage with music and movie.
You cannot plan
And it
success. Nobody knows what's going to be successful. They've got an idea what might be successful. Nobody said it's going to be that successful. It's going to be so big, and then we're going to release 3-4 singles off this album. We're going to get 4 in the top 10 at the same time.
No, but if I do
we
this,
have a subconscious
we'll have it.
feeling of what we know what might be successful, yes.
That's absolutely true. But
you can't plan it in a way as Saturday Night Fever was done. Saturday Night Fever, nobody expected the success of Saturday Night Fever had.
You can tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman man. No time to talk. Music now, really warm, I mean, kids around. This I was born, and that's alright, that's okay. You may look the other way. We can try to understand. New York Times, I'm bad. Whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking and everybody shaking, and we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying
To follow Saturday Night Fever, Robert Stigwood hit on the idea of creating a film using the characters created by the Beatles for their classic LP, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The movie starred the Bee Gees, of course. In contrast to Saturday Night Fever, the Sgt. Pepper film was a disaster, both critically and commercially.
We never liked
We knew it was a disaster.
We knew it was a disaster. That's why we were doing it.
Not when you were
There you see,
starting
there
off.
we knew. We knew it was a bad thing.
We didn't like the idea of.
We tried to talk our way out of the film, about 20% into the film.
For a start, we didn't like the idea of doing other people's music anyway. We were doing our own music.
The problem, of course, was that the Bee Gees themselves had not written the score for the Sgt. Pepper film.
Yeah,
Well, this is the long
period.
Saturday Night Fever is what saved us from Sgt. Pepper, because
Yeah.
Sgt. Pepper was being made, and when that film was just being finished, Saturday Night Fever was just taking off.
Yeah.
right.
And if it hadn't been for Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees would have been in another valley at this point, or we'd have been in another valley at that point when Saturday Night Fever was supposed to come out, and it saved us at that point.
The debacle of Sgt. Pepper was forgotten when the Bee Gees organized the most remarkable pop music gala of the 1970s, a concert for UNICEF in New York.
Changes my life, changes your life, keeps us all anticipating. Ha, ha, we are children of the world.
Each of the acts appearing donated the royalties for one of their songs to the charity. The song donated by the Bee Gees was Too Much Heaven, one of 6 consecutive Bee Gees #1 hits between 1977 and 1979.
Much harder to come back. I'm waiting in line. Nobody gets too much love anymore. It's as high as a mountain and harder to climb. Ooh, you and me, girl, got a lot of love in store, and it flows through you and it flows through me, and I love you so much more than my love. I can see beyond forever, everything we are will never die. Love is such a beautiful thing. Oh, you make my world a summer day. Are you just a dream to fade away? Nobody gets too much heaven, no, it's much harder to come back. I'm waiting in line. Nobody gets too much love anymore. It's as high as a mountain and harder to climb. You and me, girl, got a highway to the sky. We can turn away from the night.
By now, another member of the Gibb family had achieved celebrity status in his own right.
Quite a few years, there was a child around our house. We all think it's only fair that we give him a break at last. So won't you please welcome my younger brother, Andy Gibb.
Andy Gibb himself was a major star at this time, having achieved 3 consecutive #1s. Despite their phenomenal worldwide success, the Gibb brothers were not content to simply rest on their laurels and found success writing and producing for other artists.
Just being an artist now is exciting, but you want to try other things. You have to try and branch out, find out what other abilities you have, if any, you know.
See, also the fact that I'd like to point out too, because of being the producers and also writers, is that the reason that Saturday Night Fever, for instance, when we did the score, we wrote the music for our album actually, but they used that music for that movie. So we proved one thing there, that we can write soundtracks for films. We don't write old disco or dance type music, but we can write any kind. So this is the kind of thing we proved with Saturday Night Fever, which I don't think many people picked up on.
For me, when I was asked to do Barbra Streisand, I didn't believe a word of it until I met Barbra Streisand and she said to me, "This is going to work, we're going to do it."
a lonelier place.
After great success duetting with and producing Barbra Streisand, Barry's most recent project involved working with Diana Ross.
Animals stalking you at night. I'm a sucker for someone who got the prey inside. Lying on your bed of blues. In a modern time, you forgetting that your spirit free. Catch you in my bloody thread. Another victim of your ritual. For you, my skin is shed. Ecstasy in what you find. In a modern world, when my time changes, the need of the world. And you say that's impossible. It's not impossible to do. And you got just what I can see. No taste of you can be. I don't wanna get eaten alive, 'cause you're so dangerous. No, my arms I can trust. You see, I don't wanna get eaten alive, to be eaten alive, eaten alive. I don't.
While the Bee Gees have remained together, this has not prohibited solo projects.
Send you down my love tonight. I dream that I can hold you near. Will the message in your eyes take shape and crystallize? Or will you disappear? That feeling when you sigh. I could not want you more. So close and yet so far. And know it's where we are. And the moment I have waited for.
Although both Barry and Robin released solo records, this posed no threat to the Bee Gees as a group.
There's gotta love it, it's up or down. Julia, oh Julia.
And I am talking to fly. It's even blue the sky. And all the people around the world stand beside.
Julia, oh Julia. There's gotta love it, it's up or down. Julia, oh Julia.
I've been down to lows, back up high, been down 3 times already.
We'll go on making our music, we'll go on believing in our music.
I just can't take it all alone. I really should be holding you, loving you, loving you. I'm feeling down and ain't no one is struggling. And the body's like you don't know why it's hard to bear. With no one to love you, you're going nowhere.
The Bee Gees have remained together as a group on and off for over 20 years. 2 decades have seen them as international stars and as forgotten has-beens. Nevertheless, the Gibb brothers have proved that they can suffer the ups and downs of fashion and bounce back to stardom.